ドジャースが日本時間23日、ロッテからポスティングシステムでメジャー移籍を目指した佐々木朗希と契約したことを正式に発表した。ドジャースタジアムで行われた入団会見で、デーブ・ロバーツ監督は佐々木獲得について、長いプロセスだった。獲得の期待がすごく高まっていたが、朗希は手の内を見せないようにしていた。素晴らしい球団と争わなければならなかった。アンドリュー・フリードマン編成本部長が多くの時間を争奪戦に費やし、航空会社のマイルもたくさん貯まった、と振り返った。入団会見では佐々木が面談した球団に課した宿題が話題に。昨年、ロッテで自身の球速が落ちた理由と、二度と起こらないようにするためのプランを立てることだった。フリードマン編成本部長は、我々は、この1年間、この件について話し合う時間を当然費やした。急速に起こる変化についても話し合った。我々はこの宿題に完璧に回答したと思っている。と契約に至った経緯を細かく説明しました。これらの模様を日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
How much of a role did you play in monitoring the situation while this was going on? And from a baseball standpoint, what do you like about Roki from what you have seen, whether it's on tape or in person?
Well, I think as Andrew alluded to, it started with Galen Carr, his team, Pacific Rim, and then obviously coordinating through Andrew Gomer and all of baseball operations. And I think for me, it was just kind of getting information over the last few years. And I just think the last, call it month, having a couple of interactions with Roki and his team, I got to know them a lot more. And it was sort of kind of painting a picture on what it would look like day to day from a clubhouse perspective. As far as what I liked, obviously the physicality, the stuff, it's swing and miss stuff, the age, and he's just obviously performed.
This is for Andrew, 500 The Athletic. You guys were kind of seen as maybe the front runners for Sasaki, right here in the middle. You guys were kind of seen as front runners for Roki kind of throughout. How did you guys sort of view your positioning here with the standings, and sort of was it relief, was it surprise when sort of finding out that he was choosing you guys?
I think just pure excitement. Obviously, this is something that's been on our radar for a long time, and the amount of time and energy that Galen Carr, Ishmael Cruz, John Diebel, and our whole staff put into going and watching so many of his starts, to the people in the office and all that went into preparing for these meetings, just a number of fingerprints all over it from so many different groups. So it was pure excitement when we found out. And for us, we felt like, the homework assignment we felt like was right in our wheelhouse. Our ability to showcase our performance science group, our training staff, our performance staff, our pitching coaches, how connected those groups are. We felt like really highlighted a strength of ours. And so going through this process, we felt like, the most important thing was going to be to put our best foot forward. And we felt like we did that. Did it help a ton, provide, patience? No. But I would say when we found out from a text from Shohei, who beat the agent to the punch, it was just pure excitement.
Hey, Andrew, what was your guys' kind of answer to the homework assignment? Some of the specific things you told him, and how kind of quickly do you guys hope that the production he showed in Japan will translate over here?
For us, we had obviously spent some time talking about this over the year, and just some of the delivery changes that happen. We see it a lot when a guy has a hamstring injury and he comes back and his stride length is off a little bit, and just the effect it can have on the delivery. And so those were things that Galen and his crew had flagged and were talking about well in advance of that. And so for us, it was about getting into what those differences were that we saw, but also getting at what the process would be with us, and how either intra-game or between starts, how quickly we would flag that between our performance science group down to our pitching group, training staff, to see if things are going on, what's going on in the weight room, just how quickly those things would get flagged. And it was more about how things would work going forward if he were to be a Dodger, that we spent the most time kind of highlighting.
Andrew, somewhat related note, he didn't pitch like a ton in Japan, right? I think fewer than 400 innings over the last 4 years. Last year, like 110. How much do you, I guess, expect him to pitch this year? Are you considering maybe delaying the start of the season? Like, how do you go about managing those innings?
Well, first and foremost, we're really excited to partner with him. We feel like his goal is to be the first Japanese pitcher to win a Cy Young, and he definitely possesses the ability to do that. So we're excited to partner with him. We don't know at this point. Our plan is to start him. He's going to go and start the season, and we will continue to work with him on routine between starts. There's more travel here, but we don't have any artificial number of innings or anything that we are going to predetermine. It's going to be much more about partnering with him, getting that feedback, seeing how he bounces back between starts. And obviously, as we get into the season, we'll know a lot more than we do today. But the plan is to hit the ground running in spring training and have him be a big part of helping us win games.
Darren Haynes, KCAL Sports Central. Dave, we didn't hear your reaction when Shohei Ohtani broke the news that he was coming to join the Dodgers. What was your reaction to all of that?
I actually got a text from Gomer. So Gomer let me know that we got him, and I think it's my response. There were some expletives maybe, but I was certainly very excited. It was a long process, and I think with anything, there's so much anticipation, and Roki kept things really close to the vest, and so you've got great organizations that are kind of vying for this, amazing person and talent, and then so obviously like anything, and then Andrew alluded to it. There's been a lot of man hours that were put into this whole process, and a lot of airline miles as well, and so finally to come to a culmination, I think that we're in a very great position. We positioned ourselves really well right now, but when you get a player like Roki going forward as well, it's just really exciting for all of us. And so excited is certainly an understatement, but just grateful for for the trust that Roki put into our organization, into us individually. Excited for our fans, certainly at a time like this right now in Los Angeles, and excited for our players. They showed out. Our players showed up anytime any one of us asked for anything from them individually. They came out and stepped up to show, what it would be like on a day-to-day basis as a teammate of Roki. So that was really, pivotal as well.
You all have been watching this kid for a long time now. What have you learned about him as a human being throughout this entire process?
Yeah, incredibly thoughtful, just from the homework assignment and his ability to sit there and take in information, and it feels like at every point he has ideas and beliefs of what are going to make him good and how he wants to best partner with the groups, and we love that because when we're bringing players in, we want to learn from them as well and make this a two-way street. So his commitment to his craft and his thoughtfulness about how he goes about it is really impressive.
Have you ever looked back actually probably not that far back, but just this wave of Japanese players that you're getting with Roki, Yamamoto last year, and then Shohei?
Yeah, it's an incredibly talented group, obviously, and the combination of growing the game throughout Japan and also having the ability to add these level of talent players just to make our team that much better. It's dual benefit, and the fact that we're coming off of a World Series and continuing to add and have the chance to add somebody as talented as Roki is really exciting for us, for our fans, and for our players.
He was saying that in his conversation with you guys that he came away with the impression you guys thought very highly of the fastball and the splitter. Where do you think the slider is right now?
Yeah, I think he's messed around with a few different versions, and that's something as we get in, we want to kind of, hear his thoughts and get him with our group to understand, like, hey, what is the goal here? We have some ideas, but the most important thing is kind of hearing how he's feeling about it and kind of where the progression has gone and where he wants it to go.
Because last year I heard it was a little slower with like a little more depth.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like a preference as to?
I mean,
which
I
one
think
works better here?
it's really about like how is it going to play off of each. I think, you know, it'll be conversations with him whether it's keeping the bigger, slower one or going, you know, a shorter, harder version. But it's very much getting our hands on him and understanding how it all play together, which is those things we don't feel good about just making those assumptions until our group gets working with.
ご視聴ありがとうございました。これからも大谷選手のさらなる活躍から目が離せません。チャンネル登録と高評価をよろしくお願いします。皆様からのコメントもお待ちしております。